We'll call to order the City of Douglasville City Council regular meeting for tonight, Monday, June the 21st. Our first business from the agenda is an invocation by Reverend Brian Berryhill of Heritage Baptist Church, and after that, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by the Mayor Pro Tem, Terry Miller. Please stand for the invocation.
I'd like to thank you once again for this opportunity to pray, and thank you for all that you do for our community. Also, open up the doors to Heritage Baptist Church if there's anything that we can do. Certainly, we would do everything that God would allow us to do there and help in our community. So let us pray. Dear Lord and Heavenly Father, we come to you again today. Lord, thankful, Lord, for another opportunity just to be able to call on your name. Thankful, Lord, for each one that's gathered here, not only the people here, but, Lord, the families they represent. I pray, Lord, that you give us unity in our land. Help us, Lord, to learn to love one another again. Help us in all the business parts of our city and, Lord, this meeting tonight. Lord, while we don't know everything that's going on, we take great comfort in knowing that you do. And I pray you just be with each one. Help them tonight to make good decisions and just to be right in the center of your will. Show us the error of our ways that we might ever serve you better. And Lord, we'll thank and praise you for all you do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, for leading us in the pledge, and Reverend Berryhill for leading us in the invocation. The next order of business is announcements and presentations, and I do have a presentation of a proclamation for National Nurses Assistance Week and Career Nursing Assistance Day. And so I will read that. I believe we do have someone here to receive the proclamation, Jennifer Hines-Burdette, the chairperson for Certified Nursing Assistants. Is she here? Okay, well, I will read the proclamation, and we'll have the city clerk's office mail it to her. Thank you so much, Ms. Vicki. Office of the Mayor to recognize the 44th Annual National Nurses Assistance Week and Career Nursing Assistance Day. Whereas nursing homes, home care, hospitals, and other long-term care agencies have accepted the responsibility for providing quality care and a quality of life for the elder, frail, and disabled citizens in our community, and whereas the well-being and happiness of these citizens depend in large part on the nursing assistants, home care aides, patient care assistants, and others who provide 85 to 90% of the daily hands-on care in nursing homes and other long-term care settings. And whereas these career nursing assistants are instrumental in promoting and safeguarding the physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being of the residents, clients, and their families. And whereas career nursing assistants are trained professionals who collaborate closely with other healthcare providers to provide quality care and to alleviate the status of those chosen professions. Now, therefore, I, Rochelle Robinson, Mayor of the City of Douglasville, do hereby proclaim June 17th through the 24th, 2021 as the 44th Annual National Nurses Assistance Week with the theme, Nursing Assistance, Kindness in Action, and urge all citizens to join with me and other nationwide citizens to celebrate the 44th annual observance of Nursing Assistance Week and to express encouragement and appreciation for the service provided by these caregivers in the public good. So proclaim this 21st day of June 2021. And so let's give the Nurses Assistants and Care Nursing Assistance Day a hand for their hard work. Thank you so much. That's a lot of nurses breathing S's. Okay, I will go over the protocol for the meeting, and then we will get into the agenda as is presented and printed on the screen, or there are some copies on the outside. I would like to welcome you to the City of Douglasville's regular voting meeting. This is a City Council regular meeting of agenda items where official action will be taken tonight over the items that were discussed at the legislative work session on this previous Thursday. If the business you are here for is not listed as an agenda item, there will be ample time under the agenda item Comments from Citizens and Delegates section for you to discuss your business. I would ask that you would please keep your comments and presentations on a professional level dealing with the facts that are important for this governing body to make our decisions. We will not accept comments that are considered by the chair to be of a personal attack on any individual or group of individuals. You will receive a warning from the chair, and if you deviate from this requirement, a second deviation will result in asking you to discontinue speaking. Only one person speaking at a time. Please do not applaud or react to the speakers. Speak from the audience, cheer or carry on conversations with others in the audience, or be disruptive. I will remind you that we are only required to accept public comments on zoning matters. If you have a cell phone or electronic device, social media platforms, we ask that you please put those in silent mode or turn those off until the council meeting is over, so it will not be disruptive. The agenda items will be handled as the following. The committee chairperson will read the agenda item, then the person representing the agenda item or applicant will make his or her presentation. Myself and council members will probably ask clarifying questions from what we had last Thursday, if we had any other questions or concerns before we vote. After that, if it's a public hearing, the committee chairperson will ask for comments or statements from the audience. There is a maximum of 20 minutes, those in favor and those in opposition. For each item, each person has 5 minutes to speak, but if you have more than, in the public hearing, if you have more than 4 or 5 people, then you can split your time up 3 minutes or so a person. But in totality, you have 20 minutes for those in opposition and 20 minutes for those that are in favor. When you approach the podium, please give us your name and address for the record. There's a form, or there are forms outside. You should fill that form out, hand it to the city clerk, Ms. Vicki Acker, to my right, and give us your name and address for the record. Each person has one opportunity to speak, and this is not a question and answer format and not a debate format. I get in trouble with that too, trying to answer questions sometimes. So we're just here to have you present the information. We'll take that information and respond at a later time. And please address all of your concerns to the chair. And if you have any materials that are printed, we ask that you please give those to the city clerk, and she will disseminate those materials to myself and council members. So that's the protocol for the meeting, and we will move on with the meeting that is printed outside. I think, do we have a special called meeting? That's still on here from last time. Okay. We'll move on then. I have announcements and presentations. We'll go to the minutes. I have minutes of the special meeting, legislative work session, and executive session of June 3rd, 2021, and the regular meeting of June 7th, 2021. I open the floor for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. I have a second. Ms. Acker, did you get it? Was it Councilmember Adams? Thank you so much. It's been properly moved in second to approve item 21-296. Do we have any additional comments or questions or any corrections to the minutes from council members?
Madam Mayor, just a question. So for the historic preservation, is that vote in 2 weeks for Mr. John Dean?
I thought it was
I didn't see
tonight.
his name on there.
It's on the
Consent.
agenda.
It's on the consent agenda.
Maybe I missed it.
Let's see. We have David Wilson, Carol Burton.
Oh, no, it's under planning and development.
Okay. Gotcha. All right,
I
I'm
saw it
good.
somewhere.
You're just making certain, I understand we have,
Yeah,
we're
since it
excited
was-
about having new people. It's D under planning and development.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other comments or concerns as it relates to the minutes from council members? Not seeing any addition in addition to what Councilmember Burdanley asked. It's been properly moved in second to approve the minutes. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 21-296 is unanimously approved. Now I move on to the consent agenda. I open the floor for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So move.
Thank you so much, Councilman Davis. I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. It's been properly moved in second to approve the consent agenda by the Councilman Davis and second by Mayor Pro Tem. Do we see any comments or questions as it relates to this. Any further discussion from council members from the consent agenda? Thank you. I don't see any. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The consent agenda is approved, unanimously approved. I'll move on then to item number 7, and it is Economic Development Committee. That's chaired by the Mayor Pro Tem, Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business under the Economic Development Committee at this time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. We move on then to Finance Committee, chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have
You're
two
welcome.
items tonight under Finance. First item, adopt a resolution to authorize the mayor to accept a donation of 1.09 acres of real property located in land lot 737, District 1, Section 3, and adjacent to Jesse Davis Park from F&F Enterprises LLC in honor of Councilman Sam Davis' service to the community and to sign documents relating to that transaction. This item was discussed on Thursday night. I don't think we've heard from Mr. Davis, but I'll open the floor to see if there are any comments or questions of council, or if there's any public comment concerning this item before we make a motion. Seeing none? None? Mr. Davis, you don't have anything to say about how you would like to see us use the property?
He isn't he?
Yes.
He
He
stepped
stepped
out.
out,
It's a
that's correct.
conflict of
I'm sorry, I
interest.
can't see him through you all, I'm sorry. I was reading and not paying attention, my bad.
No problem.
Okay, then I make a motion that we accept this, make a motion to approve this item.
Thank
I
you so much.
apologize.
No problem. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we have a motion to approve item 21-304. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you so much. Did you get Ms. Acker, Mr. Estes? Or who did you get? Mr. Watts. Okay, it's been moved by the chair, Councilman Adams, and second by Councilman Watts to approve item 21-304. Do we have any additional comments or questions as it relates to this item from council members? Thank you. I don't see any. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 21-304 is approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're
Move
welcome.
on to item B, adopt a resolution to vacate and abandon a portion of Reservoir Drive, the same being a public street. Again, this item was discussed on Thursday night. Ms. Woodward, are there any additional comments or information that you need to provide us with?
No, I do not have additional information.
Okay, thank you. I know that we had discussed the concern to make sure that there was no individual property owner that would be negatively affected by this as far as other homes on the street. And I understand that the only remaining home is a part of the now coming forth development. Is that correct?
That is correct. Ms. Joan Woods owns the parcels abutting the tract that they're interested in.
Okay, okay. Any question or comment? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve then item 21-307.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved and second to approve item 21-307. Do we have any further discussion as it relates to this item? Thank you. I don't see any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposes, nay. The ayes have it. 21-307 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's all we have tonight under finance.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on then to the next committee, which is Housing and Community Affairs Committee. That is chaired by Councilmember Dr. LaShawn Burdanley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We
You're
have one
welcome.
item under Housing and Community Affairs Committee tonight. Authorize the mayor to sign the emergency shelter grant application to the Georgia Department of Community Affairs in support of Vision 21 Concepts Incorporated. Ms. Hampton?
We have Ms. Lattimore here with Vision 21. Ms. Lattimore, if you want to approach the podium, I know you all said you may have some questions for her.
You need to have some questions. You pressing your way with your crutches.
Hi, Ms. Lattimore.
Hi,
Hi. Can you please give us your full name and your address, and you can give the business address?
Faye Lattimore, 12591 Veterans Memorial Highway, Douglasville, Georgia, 30134.
Thank you. So, Ms. Lattimore, thank you so much for coming on tonight. The grant that you are applying for under Visions 21, this is something that we've done over the last, I think, what, 4 years?
2 years.
2 years. Has anything changed, like your expansion? Can you tell us a little bit about an update in regards to how these funds are assisting your emergency shelter?
Okay, so we're requesting funds for $45,000, and they're going to be used to provide essential services for the homeless men and women who reside in our shelters. We're going to provide case management, which is going to focus on developing individualized housing plans, including a plan so they can go from temporary housing to permanent housing. Also, employment assistance, we provide employability skills and life skills. Within the employability skills, we do assessments based on the different theories, and we also do job retention. We assist with job coaching. Some of our clients may not be acclimated to the workforce, so we have approval from their employer to go in that environment and coach them as they are working, along with working with other agencies to find jobs. With the life skills training, a lot of our clients are not able to actually be productive in the society as far as having all of the skill set needed to live daily. So that will assist with that.
Excuse me, Ms. Lattimore, I'm
Yes.
sorry. You're so passionate, and thank you so much. Don't mean to cut you off, but just for the sake of time, but how many men actually reside in the emergency shelter?
So at one time, we can have up to 22 men and up to 25 women.
Is that the shelter that's on Veterans Memorial?
Yes, well, we have several facilities.
Okay, so this is
Okay.
the umbrella.
Yes, that's the
Okay.
umbrella.
All right, I don't have any other questions or comments. Do we have any questions or comments from our mayor, council? Madam Mayor?
I do. Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Thank you so much for coming in this evening. I did have a question I was trying to find with the public health. Do you all collaborate with public health for the services so there won't be any duplication, or you're strictly through DCA?
We're strictly through DCA, and our collaboration with public health was through COVID-19. So they were very helpful in providing the COVID-19 tests when the clients come in.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. That's all I have,
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Okay. Anyone else? No? No? Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Lattimore.
Okay,
Madam Mayor,
thank
there are no other items under Housing and Community Affairs, and I make a motion that we approve item 21-299.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you so much. It's been properly moved in second, moved by the Chair, Dr. Burdanley, and second by Councilmember Davis to approve item 21-299. Do we have any further discussion as it relates to this item from council members? I don't see any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 21-299 is unanimously approved. Congratulations, Ms. Lattimore.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
No other items tonight, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Councilmember Burdanley. We'll move on to Legislative and Intergovernmental Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
No business tonight, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Councilman Davis. We'll move on then to Personnel and Organization Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight in Personnel and Organization.
Thank you so much, Coach. We'll move on then to Planning and Development Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have
You're
several
welcome.
items tonight under Planning Development. We will start with item A, and hold a public hearing and consider a request for a change in zoning from R3 Single Family Residential Detached to GC General Commercial District for 3.63 acres at 5626 Highway 92. Land Lot 53, District 1, Section 5, Parcel 49. Application by Noel DeMello, care of Hakeem Hilliard. Mr. Anderson's going to help us with that. How are you, Mr. Anderson?
How you doing, sir? Good evening.
Good evening.
Staff has not received any new information, nor do we have any updates from last week, but the applicant is here to answer any questions or address
Okay.
any concerns.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
Appreciate that. If the applicant would like to come forward with any additional information concerning the application, we would be happy to hear that. And then we will give opportunity if there are any other persons here to speak concerning the application. Please come forward.
Good evening again, Madam Mayor, members of the council. My name is Hakeem Hilliard with Hilliard Starkey Law, 260 Peachtree Street, Atlanta, Georgia, 30303. I'm here this evening with Mrs. Kavita DeMello with this request before you. We don't have any new information, but we did want to kind of respond to an issue that's been kind of floating out in all of our conversations regarding this request with respect to extended stay versus the quality of the hotel that we're proposing at this location. And we're struggling with it, not because we don't want to agree to it. We just don't believe that it's the appropriate method to place conditions on a single piece of property, a single hotel in your city that is not placed on any other hotel in the city that will result in a situation where this hotel is being treated differently than any others. And the problem with that is, and as staff has articulated in its report, that this area that the staff describes it as is a depressed area of the city. And the reason Ms. DeMello chose this property is because they want to bring some quality. I think you heard her testify that she's talking about a $10 million plus hotel, in value hotel. And when you place conditions on hotels, I don't know how you call it extended stay without describing it and defining it in a condition. And then how do you define that condition? You just say extended stay, or you start adding elements of extended stay. And then you go down a little bit of a rabbit hole, and particularly now in post-COVID America, where we're talking about travelers, business travelers that travel all the time and come to different cities and choose not to be in these extravagant, large, high-end deluxe hotels, and they want to be in business hotels. They want to be smaller hotels where they can do most of their business in their room and stay away from as many opportunities for things to occur, get different sort of infections or whatever it's going to be. And so when we talk about how do you condition a use to protect against what you don't want to see, but still not discourage the type of business competition that I think you do want to see, that's going to raise the level of this city in the way that we were hoping, or we are hoping to do, and contributing to the investment we're making at the location. So we're not necessarily, I guess, speaking against it, but we're concerned about creating a condition through the zoning process that applies to one piece of property that doesn't apply to every other property that with identical use in the category. I mean, we looked at this application and we looked at the criteria that were applicable to this request. When we completed the application, we were satisfied that we met all the requirements and qualifications. The staff agreed. This condition takes us in a different direction, if there is a condition that deals with us differently than other hotels in the city. So we would just ask you to give consideration to that issue. It's very important, and I think it's a dangerous precedent to set if we're restricting uses that are identical in different ways in the city. I don't think any hotel in the vicinity of where this property is located operates as an extended stay hotel. That was the research we did. We were asked to provide data to support our conclusions that we were going to put a hotel there that didn't require that type of quality. We're not legislating people, we're legislating the way we operate. And so there's ways to do that without creating conditions of zoning, we believe. So I don't know, Ms. DeMello, do you want to add anything at this point? We're happy to answer any questions, but we're hoping that this council will consider supporting the request in the manner that was presented to you last week, and subject to the conditions and actions of staff in their report that they've thoughtfully presented to you all. So, and we're available to answer any other questions.
Thank you, Mr. Hilliard.
Add before we do that?
No, that's fine. I'm ready for questions.
Okay.
Thank you. I will open the floor to comment from council. And Madam Mayor, of course, this being a public hearing, we do want to give opportunity for anyone to speak either for or against. Please remember, we are speaking of new information only in the essence of time. So is there anyone that had any comment? Madam Mayor, go ahead.
Just for new information and clarity, Mr. Chairman, Attorney Hakeem has brought to our attention, is that indeed factual? Do we have a SLUP or any special stipulations on any other hotel in the city that says it cannot operate as an extended stay, or any other criteria or parameters in which we put in zoning.
I would defer to legal. I have no idea.
You do not.
We do not, City Manager?
You do not, and you have extended stays within the city limits.
But not in this corridor, not in the general vicinity of where this hotel is being located?
I think
or proposed?
I would recommend that you all, before you take action on this, you look at a definition of what you are describing as extended stay. The reason I suggest this is because some of the hotel chains and brands that you've seen over the course of the years that you have said you would look into that are in the city are exactly extended stays, and you may not realize it. So I would say if you want to take action and put this in the document as a stipulation, that we have further discussion on extended stays.
I don't know if that's particularly what we wanted to do. I'm just trying to recall, I know it was Clarion, the flags that you have, are those synonymous with extended stays?
They're not at this point, Madam Mayor, but I just want to bring to everybody's attention that the brand that I decide, or any developer decides for that matter, is not necessarily the brand that is willing to come there. So it's not just my decision, what I want to put there. So it's the brand is location specific, it's not developer specific. So they may approve me for a Marriott somewhere else, but they will absolutely say, you know, this is not the location for a Marriott. Even though we really wanted to put a Marriott here. They said, you know, this is not the right location unless something changes. Like if there's a new convention center that comes in town, sure, you know, we'll put in a Marriott.
Right.
So at this point, I am also dependent on the brands to tell me what they will approve. Plus, there is lenders. You know, lenders have their own criteria to approve. So I have to be, I'm dependent on the brands and the lenders to approve the location for a particular project. But the definition of an extended stay is so vague. You know, and I mean, like I said, we are building a quality project. We're not building, you know, I know Councilwoman Miller was worried about us doing a project similar to the one that is next to the police station, which has like 22 rooms or 20 rooms. I mean, that's not the quality of project we're building. You know, this is a premium project that we're bringing to the city. So we just don't want any restrictions because we don't know everything, you know. I mean, it's not just us. If it's up to us, the simple reasoning why we don't want anybody to be able to cook in their room is because we're putting in restaurants next door.
Right.
We want money. We want people to go there.
Yes.
And our main clientele that is going to patronize those restaurants is from the hotel. So if I let them cook there, you know, I'm doing disservice to myself. So realistically, I don't want an extended stay. But, you know, I just don't want any restrictions to where, I mean, tomorrow, you know, I don't want to be stuck into a piece of property that I can't do what I need to do.
Yes, ma'am. But you have done the RevPAR or whatever, the daily rate. And so based on that, you would be in the criteria of certain hotels that would fit into that
Correct.
mode. Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Mello, forgive me, please. You stood up and said you didn't have anything in addition to say, and you did not identify yourself for the record.
Oh,
Would you please do that?
Sure. This is, my name is Kavita Purohit, and I'm from 1 Glen Lake Parkway, Suite 650, Atlanta, Georgia, 30328.
Just a formality, and I
Sure.
apologize. I don't mean to be disrespectful there. Any other comment or question? Councilperson Miller?
Thank you. So I know that when we met several weeks ago and you guys were still waiting on the information to come back, it was actually your attorney who suggested to us a stipulation against putting kitchens in. And as we talked in that meeting and even last week, because we've done so much development and revitalization in the area, we don't want to see another project just like the ones that we already have. You're right, those other hotels may not have those restrictions. We're trying to do something better for our community. And you've already come in and told us the stuff that you want to do. You want to rezone it, but yet you don't know what's going to go there yet. We don't have any renderings. We have no idea of really what amenities are going to be there other than another building with some kind of restaurant, but you don't really know what that's going to be yet either. So it's really hard for me to make a decision when I have nothing to base it off of. So please help me to make a better decision for the community.
And I would just reiterate in response to that comment, There are several hotel brands that you would be very, very happy for, that you would go and probably lobby to come here. They're going to have kitchenettes in them. And so I by no means was asking you to make that condition. We were having a conversation about whether we should just blanketly eliminate extended stay, which is completely dangerous, because I think there's a lot of different definitions about what that means, right? But there are several hotel brands that have kitchenettes in them. Some of them restrict in different ways, but it's a new world. And I had a group of clients that came here from Pittsburgh last week. They spent the entire week, and they wanted a place to stay for 10 days. Well, under most definitions, extended stay is 10 days. And they wanted to be somewhere where they wouldn't have to go out and eat because they're concerned because they have families and the pandemic is still moving around. So if we start creating conditions, we have to be careful about what kind of conditions we're creating. And I do think it's important for the city to consider that you start talking about using zoning conditions to talk about how uses operate, you're going down a rabbit hole. And when you haven't done that with hotels previously to now, we've looked at your ordinance, there's nothing about that in your ordinances currently. So we would just ask you all to give us that consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Watts. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Watts.
Ms. Hampton, when you spoke a moment ago, you suggested that before we make a decision tonight, that we would potentially look at what our definition of extended stay is. And it's been suggested that there could be a lot of definitions.
Correct.
And is it being suggested that we potentially table this tonight?
I'm suggesting that if you're making your decision based on the term extended stay, that staff be given the opportunity to give you all some information on exactly what extended stay means for certain brands or certain hotels, because it's very different from what you may think. As you all know, part of one of the projects that we were interested in ourselves is looking for hotel options for downtown, and you all received different brands, different chains and flags, and there was a lot of variation in product depending upon the flag. So if that is going to be the caveat in which you make your decision, I'd ask that you allow us to give you some time to give some information so that you can have careful consideration about what you choose to do.
Thank you, Madam City Manager.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments?
I agree with the recommendation, Chairman Adams.
Okay, thank you. Just a comment that I would make in response, and I want to make sure there's whomever may be here to like to speak. I think the confusion is coming about, Mr. Mello, in our conversation on Thursday night in our public hearing, when you were asked, would you agree that it would not be an extended stay? And your response was somewhat delayed, but then it was in the affirmative, no, or you agreed, no, it would not be an extended stay. I do have several council members that have expressed concern concerning that, because even though you may not say, Mr. Hilliard, that we have an extended stay in the area, it may not be identified as an extended stay, but we know how it's being operated, okay? And so for that matter, as I have stated prior, we are interested in moving up the ladder with our quality of development, and so from that standpoint, we're concerned about having another of the same, as Councilwoman Miller has mentioned. And so we want to see this new gateway that we're creating, that the DOT is in the process of completing into our city. We want to see it improved. And if that means limitations, then so be it. But I do agree that maybe the definition of extended stay needs to be expanded a little bit and identified. Okay?
So,
thank you for your comments.
With due respect, Councilman Adams, again, the definition of extended stay. So, for example, the Residence Inn is a Marriott product that has a kitchenette in it. Could you call it an extended stay or not? Most
people.
So, are you opposed to a Residence Inn going in there?
Point well taken. I don't have any idea. I've not looked at a Residence Inn.
Secondly, Sonesta ES, which is a very good brand, they just identified 13 properties in Atlanta that they're going in just this year. And they're expanding. They put in 200 new hotels in the country, and that's because it's an extended stay model, but it doesn't mean that people stay there. I mean, I myself stayed at a Sonesta for just one day. I mean, people just like the idea. So my concept is, whatever is that works good for the brand, I mean, I just don't want to be blocked into a situation where, you know, I'm told I can't do this or I can't do that, because we want to bring quality development to Douglasville. And this is not the only property that we're working on. So we want to work with the council. We want to make sure that we get quality products, you know, and just not just at this location, at any location in Douglasville.
Sure.
So, you know, our intent is not that, but at the same time, we just don't want any restrictions to where I might like a Sonesta. ES is a beautiful brand, and if Sonesta agrees to come there, I just don't want to be in a situation where I'm told I can't do it.
Point well taken. Anyone else here that would like to comment concerning this application, it being a public hearing? Madam Mayor, I assume
Yes,
that will be you.
I apologize, Mr. Chairman, Ms. DeMello and Mr. Hilliard. If we decide to table, is not delay is not denial. It's just giving us an opportunity to expand what the definition is. We had a hotel to come in the area probably 2 or 3 years ago, a Truist, I think, and it was just a totally different model from what we've had in the past. So it just gives us an opportunity. Although we know what extended stay is, we understand what our ordinance says. Like you're saying, the definition has expanded. So we're just trying to get more information to make an educated decision on what the city was. So we're not beating you down. We appreciate you coming to offer development. We're just trying to get a better understanding to see what we need to do as a council.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to address the comment that Mr. Hilliard made regarding us going down a rabbit hole. If you look at zoning and building codes in a certain way, you could say the entire code is a rabbit hole. It's rife with distinctions based on function and usage and style and materials. So I think it's an unfair characterization to say that we would be heading down a rabbit hole because we put this particular restriction on it, whatever that restriction, if we do decide that could possibly be. We have restrictions all over the place. We have special land use permits all over the place based on how we want to see properties function that may improve the quality of the city. So I think it's a little bit unfair to say that. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Okay, any others? Is there anyone else here that would like to speak on the matter? Public comment for or against, please come forward. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. And please understand, in the essence of the big picture, we are not against development of a hotel on that site at all. I don't think that is the issue, but I want to give opportunity for exactly what our city manager has suggested to be done. So I'm going to make a motion that we table this issue, this item 21-256, to the public hearings of
July 1st and 6th.
Of July 1st and July 6th, 2021. That's my motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to table item 21-256 to the meetings of July 1st and July 6th. Is there a second, please? Thank you so much. Is that Councilman Watts?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it's been properly moved in second by the chair and second by Councilman Watts to table item 21-256 to the meetings of July 1st and 6th. Do we have any additional comments or questions from council members?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'd just like to say this would be in an effort, of course, for us to better understand the new definition of extended stay and to be able to make a decision based upon that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion and second. It's been properly second on. We don't have any other comments. All those in favor of tabling this item to the meetings of the 1st and 6th of July, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 21-256 is tabled to the meetings of July 1st and 6th.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We'll
You're
move on
welcome.
to item B, hold a public hearing and consider a request for a change in zoning from PUD Planned Unit Development to PRD Planned Residential Development for 53.846 acres at Lee Road, Land Lot 719, District 18, Section 2, Parcel 5, application by Parks Huff. Mr. Anderson?
Good evening. Staff has not received any additional new information, nor do we have any updates. But the applicant is here to answer any
Thank you,
questions.
Mr. Anderson. Appreciate that. If the applicant has any new information to provide concerning the project, we would welcome that at this time.
Connor McNally, 999 Peachtree Street, Atlanta, Georgia. I do not have any additional information from the discussion on Thursday.
Thank you, Mr. McNally. Is there any comment or question that council or Madam Mayor would have of the applicant that we've not already discussed? Anyone? Is there any additional information or any question that the public would have, either for or against? Would like to make any statement, please come forward. This being a public hearing, we need to give that opportunity. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. And if there's no other discussion, I would move that we approve item 21-257.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Councilman Watts. It's been properly moved and second, moved by the chair and second by Councilman Watts to approve item 21-257. Do we have any additional comments or questions from council members or any further deliberation? Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving item 21-257, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Okay, we have to raise hands. Well, you all put it in your things, but 4, all those in favor, please raise your hands. 4, thank you. Opposed? 3, or 2. Majority rules is 4-3, so item 21-257 is approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We'll move on to item C. Consider a request for development plan approval for Caliber Car Wash for 1.92 acres at Highway 5 and Concourse Road in Land Lot 159, District 2, Section 5, Parcel 31. Plans dated May 21st, 2020. Application by Civil Logistics, LLC. And Ms. Maya Jackson is going to help us with that.
Maya Jackson, 6701 Church Street. Staff has no new information to add regarding this specific project. However, we did attach a map of the car washes in the city.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. We have been told that on last Thursday night when we examined the development plan that all was in approval, or as far as was in agreement with our UDO and with the development standards. As Ms. Jackson has said, there is a map of other car washes within the city. If you all would like to look at that, are there any questions or comments that Madam Mayor or the council may have concerning this development plan?
Not this development plan, but the byproduct of the map I'd like to just make a statement or ask legal if we can do a study on car washes and maybe a moratorium, just so we can do a study on them, Mr. Chairman.
Point taken.
Based on this
We can
map.
discuss that. I believe maybe in other business. Could we do that?
Okay. We'll wait
Bring it
till
up in other
business.
business so that we don't confuse the issue as far as this particular development plan.
Okay, so I'll just
Is that
put a
okay?
note that the map is
Got
on
it.
this one. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
Any other comment or question? Seeing none, then I make a motion that we approve this development plan, item 21-274.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Councilman Davis. It's been properly moved by Chair Councilman Adams and second by Councilmember Davis to approve item 21-274. Do we have any additional comments or questions as relates to this item? Thank you. I don't see any. All those in favor of approving, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay?
Nay.
I think 2 nays. Is that correct? Okay. So the ayes have it. 21-274 is approved by a majority.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We'll move on to item D. Appoint John Dean to the Douglasville Historic Preservation Commission to fill an unexpired term expiring January 31st, 2024. I apologize to Dr. LaShawn Burdanley that I did not request that this be placed on the consent agenda. That is my mistake, and I apologize. But we'll hear from Ms. Kristen Tate concerning this.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
evening.
Kristen Tate, 6695 Church Street. On Thursday, Mayor and Council interviewed Mr. John Dean for a vacancy on the Historic Preservation Commission. If appointed, he will fill an unexpired term expiring January 31st, 2024. There are no other individuals interested in this position.
Thank you very much, Ms. Tate. Questions or comments concerning the resume that Mr. Dean has provided and the position? Are there any comments?
Just have a comment. I am
Yes.
very excited about Mr. Dean being appointed to this preservation. This is just the beginning of new endeavors for him. So he's only been with us for less than a month, maybe a little over a month, and he is already activated and excited. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Danley. Anyone else? Seeing none, then I make a motion that we approve item D, 21-300.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Councilman Davis. It's been properly moved in second by the chair, Councilman Adams, and second by Councilmember Davis to approve item 21-300. Do we have any other glowing comments outside of what Dr. Burdanley has said about Mr. Dean from council members? Thank you. I don't see any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 21-300 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's all that we have tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and you're welcome for that. We'll move on to Public Improvement and Beautification Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Nicole Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business this evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Public Relations Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Howard Estes.
No business this evening. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome. Thank you, Councilman Estes. Public Safety Committee, chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
Madam Mayor, no business today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on to Recreation, Culture, and Tourism Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There is no business tonight in Recreation, Culture, and Tourism.
Thank you, sir. We'll move on then to Technology Committee. That's chaired by the Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business at this time under the Technology Committee.
Thank you so much, Councilman Miller. And Transportation Committee, that's chaired by Councilmember Dr. LaShawn Burdanley.
Yes, Madam Mayor, we have three items, and the first one is adopt a resolution to name new streets created by the State Route 92 project and to rename certain streets.
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
Woodward?
Thank you, Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
Chairwoman. Tonight, we have a resolution for a change in street names for 4 streets that were either created by the new project, State Route 92, or the City Council has decided to rename it. The 4 streets that that are in the resolution tonight are the new Caldwell Court, a new Mill Village connector, and a rename of street is James Vance Street that is renaming portion of Brown Street, and renaming a portion of Malone Street to Jesse Davis Park Drive. These are the streets that the City Council has indicated that there was a consensus as to this is what the City Council had desired when we were preparing this earlier this month. I do not have more information at the moment.
Thank you, and just want to just make a comment in regards to Jim Steele's name, not changing the name of Dallas Highway, but adding a marker that will, so I didn't see that anywhere on here. That's not.
Since it's not a technical street name, Madam Chair, what we would do is put that in the form of a separate resolution, since it's a dedication per your request.
Okay, all right. And also, Councilman Davis mentioned Doug Smith's name, and also I know that New Horizons name, and those will be discussed at a later date. Is that correct? All right. Okay, if there are no questions, I know that we have some family members here from Mr. Vance's family. Thank you so much for coming.
I had a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Just for information purposes for the public, when we talk about, the city manager mentioned placards, and you made reference to those streets or brought up those streets for Mr. Smith and Mr. Jim Steele, it would be like the placards that are where Alpha Fowler is located, or there's another one on Presley Mill.
Yes, ma'am. It would be like the historic markers that you see throughout town where they're in every city, the name of the individual, and then a brief history. So we would put that at a central point near the park, somewhere visible, particularly in the area where the traffic signal is, so that it can see that they're large enough. So
on both
that's
sides?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it should be nice. Tom Kilgore, that's what I was trying to think of. Had a senior moment.
Did
So
that
those are
answer
the
your
2.
question, Madam Mayor?
Pardon me?
Did that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am, it did.
And she
Thank you.
mentioned Malone Street. I think Malone Street and New Horizons, those would be discussed at another date. Is that what you're saying?
For the changing of streets that already have names,
Yes.
yes, ma'am, it would.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, if there are no other comments or questions, Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we approve item 21-228.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much, Councilman Davis. It's been properly moved in second, moved by the Chair, Councilmember Dr. Burdanley, and second by Councilmember Davis to approve 21-228. Do we have any additional comments from council members? I don't see any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 21-228 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And the
You're
second item is item number 21-294. Authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with Georgia Power Company to provide electricity to the lights at the intersection of Malone Street and Highway 92. Okay. Mr. Roberts.
Yeah, Greg Roberts with the Public Services Department. We covered this on Thursday for the 4 lights. Are there any questions about them?
Ms. Hampton, I see the cost. How is that cost paid for over time?
It'll be covered under our SPLOST funds.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't have any other questions. Any other questions or comments? Okay, if not, thank you, Mr. Roberts. I make a motion that we approve item 21-294.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much. I think the second was Councilman Adams or Dave Adams. Thank you so much. It's been properly moved in second, moved by the Chair, Dr. Burdanley, and second by Councilmember Adams to approve item 21-294. Do we have any other comments as it relates to this item from council members? I don't see any. All those in favor of approving, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 21-294 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And the
You're
last
welcome.
item is authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with Georgia Power Company to provide electricity to the area like near 6720 Davis Drive. Mr. Roberts.
You're getting your steps in, Mr. Roberts.
I need to. Yeah, this is just installing one single light fixture to a pole, and I pointed it out to some of you this afternoon on the ride down on Davis Drive.
Thank you. And that's the entrance of Malone where that dark area is?
No, that's what the other one was.
Okay, and this one is?
This is one on down on the other, on down into Davis Drive, at the end of the railing where the new road ends and goes down into Davis Drive. There's one pole there where there's a, just a spot where there needed to be some lighting.
Do you have the timeline, Mr. Roberts? I didn't ask on the other one.
On this light fixture installation, probably will happen pretty quick. The others will require some boring work. That's what the cost is. As I had mentioned the other day, the $19,000.
Right.
It's for boring because it's all underground. And so I can't tell you the timeline on that. I know Georgia Power, they're having trouble having crews doing the underground boring. That's part of the delay on the 92 project. So.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure it won't be too long. All right, if there aren't any other questions or comments from our mayor or council, then I make a motion, Madam Mayor, that we approve item 21-297.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much. Is that Councilman Davis? Did you get
Yes,
that?
ma'am.
Okay. It's been properly moved in second by the Chair, Councilmember Dr. Burdanley, to approve item 21-297, and second by Councilmember Davis. Do we have any further discussion as it relates to this item? I don't see any. Thank you, Mr. Roberts. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 21-297 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have any other items under transportation, but I will make a comment under other business when it's appropriate.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we'll move into other business. That's a good segue. Do we have any other business to bring up for council members? I will start, and then I will yield the floor. And I know Councilmember Burdanley has some information.
Yes.
I wanted to.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Go
I
ahead.
wanted to talk about the maybe possibly. I don't know if it's appropriate or not for us to do a moratorium on car washes based on the map that was presented to us under public, let's see, Planning and Development Committee. Because there seems to be a good, I don't want to get into a lawsuit. I just want to study and see per capita, you know, for population and all of that, do a comparison to other cities to see how many car washes are appropriate. We seem to be having, we have some clean cars. We shouldn't have any dirty cars around here.
Legal department can definitely look into that. We just need a little bit more direction as to what criteria you would like staff to look into.
Mm-hmm.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
could I address that?
Yes, sir, Mr.
I
Houston.
think when you look on the map,
Mhm.
we have two different kinds of car washes actually here. I'm not sure what your desire is concerning a moratorium or a study. The car washes, I believe, that you're speaking of would be what I would call the automatic car washes, where they're touchless. You go through a tunnel, it's sprayed off by a machine, it's dried by a machine, so forth and so on. And that is not what this map depicts. This map depicts both detail shops where you have persons actually washing and doing the work, and detailing, so to speak. So I know that it appears 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 when you include the one that is in question or that we just approved here on Concourse and Highway 5. But what is your concern? I guess my question, what is your concern? Which type of car wash are you wanting studied, would be my question.
All car washes, washing by hand, going automatic. I think it was indicative of the vote for the council as well. It nearly passed. I mean, it was 4-3, I believe, or 5-2. Just because it just seems to be a plethora of car washes. I know that's all. So any and all, by hand, through the machine. Car washes, people in the street. Mr. Dawson, he made a noise. I don't want to get in trouble.
Well, the legal department can certainly ascertain how many there are. If you're simply trying to base a moratorium based on a perception that there are too many, you might legally be asked, in other words, have you got too many churches? Too many doctors, too many hamburger stands. You have to have some rational basis to tell the business it can't operate because you think there are too many, unless we can show some correlation between declining property value, crime, some ascertainable evil that we can link a business to. It's very hard to simply say we don't need any more. Particularly when it's already zoned.
For
And
that.
it's an allowable use in the zone. It's almost impossible to tell somebody, no, we think you have too many. You've got to have some legally sustainable reason. We'll certainly establish the numbers, and we can look around and see if there have been any studies by other cities that find some evil associated with car washes. But I don't know what we'll find.
Yes, sir. I'm not saying it is evil. I just, I don't know, I guess I want more variety of businesses, and I don't want anyone to, for example, my daughter came home from Savannah State, and we were driving down the street, she said, geez, how many car washes do we need in Douglasville? There was like 2 more that were being built. She hadn't been home since August, and in that time, we had 2 new ones. So it just seems like in the shopping area and just on those streets that are commonly used for everyone, there are a lot of car washes.
Can you make an argument for aesthetics, bad aesthetics being evil?
Well,
I'm not
judges have a lot
turn my
broader view of
microphone off.
elected officials in towns and cities. You can certainly adjust your zoning ordinances to remove certain types of businesses from certain zones. For instance, you have zones you can't operate a car lot in. But I think that would take a good bit of study to try to, and once again, somebody has to make a determination that we've got too many of something. And once again, once you start down that slope, the question becomes, well, what else have you got too many of? I mean,
I'm wondering if you could, with respect to the mayor's concerns, I wonder if you can frame it in, for lack of a better way, a suburbanization model that's being created. You know, a car wash the footprint of a car wash doesn't occupy very much space, but it's mostly parking and driving versus, you know, a store or something else that could better occupy that location. I mean, there may be something we could hang our hat on in that little area, I'm guessing. But I actually do, let me, if I don't mind me interrupting.
Yes, sir.
I had a question on the map. Does this number of car washes that are all indicated, does that also include car washes that are part of gas stations? Because a lot of gas stations have car washes that are just simply.
Probably not.
Okay, so if you want to get total numbers, you might want to include those as well.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I don't know that we have any of those in existence anymore. Honestly, I don't know that we have any of those that are even in operation or existence anymore since this new model has come out. I know I can count several locations around our community where they did have.
I want to say down on Thornton Road, I think there's still one or two.
I don't know about Thornton Road. This is not even inclusive. That does not include the Thornton Road area, does it? Maybe it does. I don't see any.
Is it Thornton Road? That's part of the city.
On the Thornton Road, but I don't see any on Thornton Road. I don't see any that have been shown on the map to be on
Okay,
Thornton
I
Road.
mean, you may be correct, I don't know. I'm just.
But I will say this, historically, I can remember two locations where there, many, many years ago, there were drive-through car washes. There were two. Both of those locations are now defunct and are some other type business. But in their place, there have been 5 opened of that type in their place. And I think that is a direct link, in my opinion, of the increase in population, the increase in people that don't wash their cars in their driveway anymore, the increase in the need, the increase in the number of cars in a home now. And I'm not saying for or against a car wash. I happen to use one occasionally. And I have to agree with the mayor. I mean, with the council, Mr. Dodson, I don't know if we start that, are we then going to say, okay, well, we don't need any more pawn shops, we don't need any more convenience stores, we don't need any more, so what do we need? And then we're going to dictate and start trying to decide who the winners and losers are.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned about us doing that when they would be, as Mr. Dodson's mentioned, they'd be properly zoned. I think the market will tell us when too many is too many.
Okay.
As long as they are done in a professional, approvable development plan design. And I know that not all of us even agree with what that is tonight. But
Right.
there again, that can be tweaked.
It's good conversation. That's the only reason why I brought it up, just trying to get an understanding.
And
See,
maybe-
so I'm not hanging my hat on it. I was just asking a question.
It maybe comes back to that as we look at the ordinance from the perspective of, again, like we did with the
Dollar
dollar
Tree,
stores, that we impose certain architectural standards on them, and maybe that's part of the solution, is to impose some sort of architectural standard on car washes as well.
Yeah, so
Just
we
a
don't
thought.
have vacant ones, because we did have one on Douglas Boulevard and Hospital Drive that was the same, and one closed and one stayed open. So you don't want to have them open and then they sit vacant. And there's one on Church Street as well that I thought was,
Been repurposed.
yes, sir, yes, sir, they was
That
vacant.
one of the locations I was speaking of.
Oh, yes, sir.
Madam Mayor?
Okay, yes, sir, Mr. Watt?
Just comment real quick. I don't have an opinion at this point in time on car washes in particular, but I kind of view our role as trying to, when we look at businesses and types of businesses, we're not necessarily saying this one's bad, this one's good, but how do we want our city to look as people drive into it? And I'm not talking about car washes, Councilman Adams brought up various different businesses, and there are some businesses that say something about your community. And I won't say what it says, I'll just say it says something about your community. So, I don't know about a moratorium, but I just, as far as development of our city, I just view our job, and I may get corrected right after the meeting by council, but I view our job is to try not to pick winners and losers, but to try to help our city develop in a way that appeals to a wide range of folks that we have living here and that come and visit here. So that's all I had to say, Madam Mayor.
Is there an interim, a stepchild in between moratorium and and just having a basis to study?
Well, if you want to start with a study, I'd start there. But once
Okay.
again, we need some criteria to work with, so we can discuss what we've talked about.
Yes, sir.
I don't know that you're going to find, I don't know that you'll find any detrimental economic information concerning car washes.
Okay.
most of the issues with those usually stand on where they're located in high-traffic areas. Now, I don't know what our UDO says the minimum acreage is, probably a half acre for a car wash. You might want to tinker with the square footage of what you need for a car wash.
Okay.
In terms of just finding something that says we have too many, I don't know that a study will produce that.
Okay.
And the moratorium wouldn't affect the decision we made tonight.
No, sir.
And, you know, unless there's a car wash waiting on the agenda in the next couple rounds of
Ms.
meetings,
Williams?
we don't,
Do we have one in the queue? No, we do not. Okay.
so.
All right, so if you all can bring us a recommendation, Ms. Woodward, Mr. Dotson. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was a healthy conversation. And the other thing is that there is a community meeting on the 30th of this month for Ward 3, talking about Highway 92 project. It'll be held here at the Conference Center, and I'm certain Dr. Burdette will give more details. So you are the first one to raise your hand. Yes, ma'am?
Oh, just,
You have announcements?
Ms. Hampton, our city manager, Councilman Davis and I will be getting together as we approach the date to go over the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, but I wanted to also add that the temporary lights that are underneath the bridge are not working.
Oh. When did they go out?
Probably about a week ago.
I thought we just got them put in.
No, the battery dead.
I wish I had known.
works
I
on the
told the
battery.
chair today. That's okay. Councilmember Burdette, is that that's your other business?
Oh, I've went into some more comments as our city manager may have some.
Okay.
I do not. Staff will be prepared for the 30th.
Okay, I do have other
Yes,
business.
ma'am.
I just wanted to just mention that on Thursday, there was a presentation about Frederick Douglass. And on tonight, that is not on the agenda. I just wanted to make sure that the mayor and council know that I know this was a very sensitive subject. However, I would like to revisit, I've spoken with our city manager in regards to possibly coming up with a committee that we can talk about names that can go around the track at Jesse Davis Park, since we don't physically have a trail. And I've spoken with Councilman Davis about this, and at our next round of meetings, then have that list together so we can move forward with it.
Okay, I think that's a good recommendation. And as far as Frederick Douglass, Stephen Douglass, the city can't make that determination because it's the county name and state, so we would have to, we can certainly do whatever this body deems to do honorary or honor in our parks, but as far as a bust or changing, and that was one of the requests, to have a bust, we would, just not in our purview to make that decision. Or the presentation did say something about curriculum. Of course, we don't have the ability to do that either. That's the school system. And to change the name of the county is up to the county government, not the city
Correct.
government.
So the proclamation needs to change. I do believe that Frederick Douglass still need to be recognized, as well as other people, not just African Americans, but Native Americans, as well as Caucasian and African Americans.
Yes, ma'am.
But as far as changing the name of Douglas County, you are correct, Madam Mayor. That is not what the presentation, that my understanding was about, was just about to, although there were comments from individuals that they wanted the bypass named after Frederick Douglass and the county. Of course, we are the city within a county, but from my understanding and my discussion with the Women Unite was not related to changing Douglas County's name. I know we cannot do that, but I would like to see Frederick Douglass as well as other individuals, local and national. You have Dr. Martin Luther King as well, who could be a part of the historic, our historic track, around the track, or at the trail. So I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you. You're welcome. Do we have any other business from council members? No? Okay, we'll move on then to updates from city staff. Mr. Dotson, our city attorney.
No business, Madam.
Thank you, sir. A staff attorney, Ms. Lynn Woodward.
No business tonight, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. The Police Department, Major Davison.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Our City Manager, Ms. Marsha Hampton.
Yes, ma'am. Just to remind you all that you do have an executive session afterwards, and based on your planning and zoning item that you discussed earlier, you have a detailed email from me following that for information for you to consider.
Okay. Thank you so much. Do we have any staff reports? Okay. Now is the opportunity, item 22, comments from citizens and delegates. If you sustain the meeting and you'd like to make any comments or address us, please come to the podium. That's the fire chief. Is that the fire chief back there? Come on up, fire chief. Just talk to us. We did see 2 of your deputies last Thursday, and so great team you're building. So if you can just give us your name and address for the record. I'm putting you on the spot. Give us your name and address for the record, and then just give us some brief comments. It's good to see you again, Chief.
Good to see y'all.
Yes, sir.
Honorable commissioners, councilmen, sorry. My name is Roderick Jolivet, and I'm at 6650 Woodrow Lane.
Yes, sir.
And I'm happy to be here, but the reason why I'm really here tonight is to let you know that we're changing our EMS model, response model. Back in 1990 to present, the population have doubled, as you all know. Everybody wants to be a part of Douglasville, Douglas County. And so we're changing our model to add more units that will get to the citizens as quickly as possible to render them care. And we'll be going with a quick response vehicle. It was approved by the county, well, it hadn't been approved yet, I'm sorry. It was recommended to the county commission today to get 4 new vehicles that will assist the ambulance with providing service to the citizens. And you might see ladder trucks and engines riding through the city. We're trying to prevent that, and because it's a safety issue for our citizens. So we're looking at quick response vehicles that will send a quick response vehicle with a medic on it, and then we'll have some people in the ambulance that will be able to take care of our citizens. So we're excited about it, and it's a way to let the citizens know that we're taking care of them. So with that being said, I thank you all for allowing us to serve you, and I will be in touch with the Commissioner of Public Safety, Mr. Davis, to make sure we can bring some updates regularly to the city.
Thank you. Now, Fire Chief, I know you and Madam Chair and I had dinner. You were talking to me about a truck. Is someone driving in the front and someone driving in the back, or is that what you're talking about? That's the truck you're talking about?
Well, this is a small unit that's paramedic type, but we also are looking at a tiller truck, and that truck will get to a lot of our citizens a lot quicker than a standard ladder truck. You have someone in the back of the tiller driving and someone in the front, and they'll be able to get into areas that are kind of difficult for a large ladder truck to get into. So we're excited about that, and we'll be bringing more information to you about that, and you can get closer to apartment buildings. And it's also good for the city to have a tiller ladder truck. So we're moving at a fast pace, and we will be bringing more information to you all so y'all can be excited about what we're doing to bring safety to our citizens.
Yes, sir.
In an efficient manner.
I'm trying to help you with stuff that you were telling me about.
Yes,
so the other thing, Mr. Hanley talked to you about when a fire truck or vehicle responds to something there was an accident on I-20, and then there was one on Chapel Hill. What was that you're implementing something new for that situation? If you had two incidents at the same time, or 2 traffic incidents, and you need to get somewhere, what truck is that?
Yes, ma'am. We're looking at more of advanced warning type trucks to not only help our responders, but also help our citizens that are out on Interstate 20. And so it's a special vehicle that will be assigned to it. It helps with the CHAMP program, but I will have some locally that will protect our equipment. Because in 2018, we lost a ladder truck out on the interstate, $1.5 million ladder truck. And,
wow.
So we're trying to find creative and innovative ways to be able to protect our citizens and our responders out there on the interstate, because they do have a lot of traffic out there and a lot of incidents. So. Accidents, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. And then the other one was the unfortunate accident we had on Campbellton Street with the tree. There was something else you were talking about with that. I know I'm telling all your.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Mainly, we have assessment teams that are, that we work with with our EMA, and we'll be going around doing assessments when we have bad weather to assist with making sure that the public stays safe, so.
Yes,
We
sir.
have a lot of good creative ideas. We do have 3 deputy chiefs, 2 started, as y'all know, about a month ago, and we have 1 coming from South Carolina that is very proactive, and he'll be involved with making a lot of changes to help better our city. But we do have a lot going on. We have filled a lot of positions since January. We was at 34 positions down. Now we're probably down at 12 or 13. So we do have aggressive recruiting going on so we can make sure that our citizens stay safe.
And then the last one was the backup to the airport in Villa Rica. That's in the the county limits in case something's going on in Hartsville, that they can land there. So you went and made an assessment about all of that, and you're coming up with a plan for
Yes,
emergency services.
Yes, ma'am. That airport, we're working with the owners out there to make sure that we have a plan in place that will provide safety to the rescuers and also to the citizens that live in that area. So we're excited. There's a lot going on.
Thanks so much, Fire Chief. I know I told all his business. I was just trying to help him help us. Do we have any questions from council? Yes, Councilman Adams.
Madam Mayor, I did have a question for the chief. Chief, you're mentioning a quick response vehicle to try to minimize the use of the ladder truck here, I believe, at this station.
Yes, sir.
Primarily, I see it
Yes, sir.
on, looks like routine runs
Yes, sir.
every time there's a call. And so what you're trying to do is prevent that truck from being on the road when it's really not needed, but because you need the personnel potentially there, they're driving that truck, basically. Is that correct?
That's very correct. And our ISO rating is always a issue, our public protection classification. So instead of that truck running on a lot of the calls like that of that nature, they can have time to drill and train and help our ISO rating, which is a big benefit for the city and the county. So we're working on that, and it's going to be an early Christmas present once we get it done.
So the new vehicle would be something much smaller that same crew would run into those calls when that truck is not needed on the call?
Yes, sir. It'll be an
Okay.
F-150, and we're going to start out with 4 of them, and they will complement an ambulance. And we'll have 1 medic on the quick response vehicle, and then we'll have an AEMT and an EMT on the ambulances. And they call them most of the calls we're responding to now don't really require medic, but we will have a medic responding, but we'll be able to take care of people who have problems with their breathing and just, most people don't use the hospital anymore. They kind of call the ambulance service to take care of their needs. So we'll be able to take care of citizens a lot quicker and have responses that are safer than riding a ladder truck, down the road.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome. Any other comments or questions from council members for our fire chief?
Hi,
Councilman
Chief.
Adams.
Thank you for coming. Just a question. I know you're recruiting. Are you recruiting entry-level firefighters, like those that are interested in just being a firefighter, or certified?
Okay, that's part of our plan. Initially, we had to go out and get some people that already had state certification firefighter and already had the EMT. So but we do have a plan in place because we're going to be dealing with Station 9, which is going to be a new station. We're going to be hiring entry level, and we're not going to put a stipulation, but we are looking strongly at people that live here in Douglasville so that they can, they live here and they'll be able to work here, play here and all that. So we do have probably about 70 applications of young people that applied.
Oh, great.
And we will be in touch with them. And they'll start out with just having a high school diploma, being 18, and have desire to provide service to the citizens. So that's going to be a game changer. We're going to probably hire about 30 people.
Be great.
So those 30 people live here already and have addresses and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a big boost to our economy and also to our
Very
what we do.
good.
So that's going to be something we're looking forward to.
That's exciting. Any other questions for fire chief? Thank you so much, Chief. I know you're new. How many months have you been here?
Probably about 4 months.
4 months? You still got the baby doll smell that you get at
Yes,
Christmas,
yes,
when you get the
yes.
baby doll at Christmas.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Chief. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. We wish you the best. Thanks for protecting us.
Yes, ma'am.
You're welcome. Now we have open for comments from citizens and delegates. If you sustain the meeting and you'd like to make any comments, you can come forward. You have 5 minutes to address the council. We'd love to hear from you. No other comments? Okay. Not seeing any, then I will make a motion to adjourn into executive session for the purpose of discussing a personnel matter and a litigation matter. I have a motion after recess. Is there a motion?
Second.
Thank you so much. It's been properly moved and second to adjourn into executive session for the purposes of discussing a personnel matter and a litigation matter after a short recess. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We are in executive session after a recess.
Madam Mayor, who made the first to adjourn into executive session?
Oh, adjourn into executive sssession.
Yeah, who made the first? We don't have
Oh,
that
I
noted.
did.
I'm sorry. I should have said so moved. I said second. I
Okay,
apologize.
got it.
I make that motion.
And
Okay.
I'll second.
Thank you, Councilman S. It's been properly moved and second to adjourn into executive session to discuss a personnel matter and litigation matter. All those in favor? Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We are adjourned into executive session after a